Some of the slaves are kept in cramped cages, sitting on concrete floors. Flies buzz around the rusty bars that imprison them. John 9 just wants to go home.
I am not fed enough as well. I feel so sorry. It's not only me. It's everyone that people are sad.
Another man says he was shipped here with fake documents against his will.
They tricked me, they lied to me, and put me on the boat.
They are two of potentially hundreds of modern slaves in Indonesia, forced to work boats that supply fish that can taint an export supply chain of products sold in the United States. They're forced to work at times 22-hour days with no days off and little or no pay. Some claim there are beatings. At times, men die. This night, some call out to a reporter for help. One says, "Our parents might think we're dead. We all want to go back home so much." The slaves are held in this tiny town called Benjina in the archipelago of Indonesia at an office compound for a company called Pusaka Benjina Resources. Most are from Myanmar, one of the poorest countries in the world. They're brought through Thailand to Indonesia. Seafood they catch is sent back to Thailand, where the tainted fish can wind up in the supply chains of Walmart, Kroger, Albertsons, and Safeway. Or it can wind up in the supply chain of American pet food brands like Fancy Feast, Meow Mix, and Imes. None of those companies would speak to the Associated Press for this report, but issued statements that strongly condemned labor abuses. Walmart did send this email statement saying, "We care about the men and women in our supply chain, and we are concerned about the ethical recruitment of workers." Industry representatives say it's a clouded seafood supply chain American companies have worked hard to eradicate.
You know, it's not only disturbing, it's disheartening, because our companies have zero tolerance for labor abuses.
This amateur video from 2012 shows the fishing conditions on the Arafura Sea. These particular workers are paid, but the work is dangerous. Men jump overboard to pull nets in. As part of a year-long investigation, the AP tracked one shipment of seafood produced using slave labor to see where it went. After the fish is caught, the haul is then unloaded in Benjina and reloaded onto this Thai ship, the Silver Sea, which says it is only a transport ship and not involved with the fishermen. The AP tracked that ship for 2 weeks by satellite until it docked in a port near Bangkok, Thailand, and the seafood is unloaded into trucks. An AP camera followed the trucks to various destinations, markets, and global exporters, where slave-caught fish can mix with other seafood caught legally. The spokesman for the National Fisheries Institute says U.S. companies sometimes face a dilemma when it comes to policing where their product comes from.
There are things that people talk about like boycotts, and they say, well, why don't we just not buy seafood from there? Well, if you don't buy seafood from there, then you're not only not in the conversation anymore about labor, you don't have an ability to fix it.
For Thailand, seafood exports are a $7 billion industry, and the United States is one of their largest customers. The Thai government says it's working to address human rights concerns with new laws to cover things like sick leave and wages for workers. But a representative for the Department of Fisheries sounded surprised when told by the AP about the slaves.
Still happen now? Yeah. We try to solve it. It's going on. Right now it's ongoing.
The Indonesian government has called for a temporary moratorium on all foreign fishing.
The new government has launched, a policy to crack down illegal fishing practices, because we see that this is the bottom of the problem.
Thinking of what slavery is happening on those boats, I lost my sleep.
The AP investigation also uncovered an overgrown graveyard where dozens of fishermen are entombed. They're buried under fake Thai names given to them when they were tricked or sold onto their ships.
When I buried the bodies, I thought that being in these Indonesian islands, the only thing we will have is death. There is no way back home for us.
As part of the investigation, the Associated Press notified the International Organization of Migration about the men in this story. They were later moved to safety. Yet hundreds of slaves remain. David Bruns, the Associated Press.